Hello, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Her Inspired Mind podcast. This is your host, Rebecca Fillmore, and today's topic is how to radiate from within with self love. Right now, I'm in the middle of this 30-day self love challenge with a group of women, and it's a drop in challenge. So, if at the end of this episode you would like to join this group, just send me a message or an email, and I will gladly add you into the group because it's continual. I do post prompts in there to give you different ideas of how to love yourself better. So it's just something that I'm going to keep open. So anytime any woman wants to join, she can join freely, and you just do it on your own, right? Because it's about self love. So I want to just talk about the fact that, self love is more than just this thing or this buzzword that people like to use, or this phrase, right? It's actually a catalyst for meaningful change, not only within yourself, but also in the world, because collectively we are one. And if each and every one of us makes the time to love on ourselves better and to take care of ourselves better, that will then transmute into other persons around us. And we can just emit that energy around the world. So I want you to recognize the importance of self love in your own personal journey and your own transformation. So, the first thing you need to understand when it comes to self love, you cannot expect to feel that love from anyone or anything outside of you. You have to go within, because in order to change your outer world, you have to change your inner world. And I've spoken about before how the Spirit of God dwells within us. We are His temple. And the first commandment is to love God with all of your heart, all of your mind. And He says then to love your neighbor as you love yourself. So, in order to be able to love the people around us better, we need to go within, because that's showing that we love God and that we love ourselves. And then we're going to be able to pour that out into other people. First and foremost, with the people in our home, and then secondly, with the people in the world. And if you want your life to change for the better, again, you can't look for outer things or things to change around you if you don't put in the work to change the things within you. And that begins with giving yourself that love, because the fruits of what come out of when you love someone and you nurture it and you take care of it, it grows, it blooms, it blossoms into something even more beautiful. And that's what's going to happen if you make the time to love on yourself more. The second thing that you can do to show yourself some more self-love is by practicing self-compassion and nurturing your inner dialogue. I know sometimes it's easier to forgive other people or to excuse other people for the things that they have done, but sometimes it can be hard for you to forgive yourself. It could be hard for you to not condemn yourself or even speak negatively about yourself. So, one way that you can love on yourself more is by showing yourself that love and that compassion that you give so freely to others. And that inner dialogue. Do you speak highly about yourself, or are you always condemning and criticizing yourself? And this can be hard sometimes, especially if you've been in abusive relationships, or if you grew up, just hearing that you're never good enough or that you're always doing things wrong. Your inner dialogue, the way that it's already set up, it can be on that negative. But with self-awareness and practicing saying positive affirmations, you can change this internal dialogue. And one of my favorite ways to rewire my brain, and that has helped me to rewire my brain in my inner dialogue, is while you're doing meditation and breath work. So, one thing that I do is I inhale, right? And while I'm inhaling in my mind, I'm inhaling and saying in my mind what I want to feel or who I am, right? So let's say I breathe in and I'm breathing in, I am focused, I am beautiful, I am empowered. And when I exhale, I'm exhaling any negative thoughts about myself, any negative energy, any doubt, any worry. And I do this for 10 minutes. I inhale for 4 seconds and I'm inhaling, all the positive things that I want to be thinking or all the positive things I want to tell myself. And then I'm exhaling that negativity. And let me tell you, I did that this morning alone. Like I do it every day. And the relief that I feel by the time I'm finished is amazing. I just feel lighter. I feel ready for my day. And it is super transformative. So if you need help changing that internal dialogue, make that time. Even 5 minutes. If you're sitting in your car, you're waiting to go back into your house after work, or maybe you got to work early and you're just sitting in your car. Instead of getting on your phone, do some breath work, close your eyes, inhale, positive energy. You're empowered, you're focused, you're beautiful. Exhaling, worry, doubt, anxiety, any negative energy that you might be feeling. Then the third thing that you can do to show yourself more self-love is by setting healthy boundaries that prioritize your well-being. Now, notice I said healthy boundaries because people talk about boundaries a lot, or at least I see it a lot on social media. But sometimes these boundaries are not boundaries, they're more like walls. And there's a difference between a fence and a concrete wall, right? So you want to make sure that it's healthy boundaries. So this means that you should be creating the space and the time to heal, to forgive, right? To let go of resentment, to let go of any negative thoughts or emotions, and not walking around hardened with your heart hardened, thinking you have healthy boundaries, but instead they are walls, right? Because these boundaries should be to prioritize your well-being, right? Boundaries are not meant to keep people out, but they're just more so to let people know what you will and won't allow in your life in a healthy way, meaning you're not doing it out of anger, you're not doing it out of resentment, you're not doing it with any ill intent in your heart, you're not doing it to hurt somebody else. You're more so doing it to protect your own well-being, your whether it's your physical, your emotional, or spiritual health, but it's coming from a good, healthy place. And the fourth thing is that you can integrate good self-love practices into your daily routine. So self-love should not be something that you're doing once a week or every few months. It's not, just a spa there when you're getting your nails done. No, self-love should be a daily practice. You should be speaking life into yourself every day, positive words every day. You should be taking the time to journal your emotions and, taking all that baggage off of you and showing yourself that self-compassion and that self-love every single day. Now, I'm going to share with you some daily practices that you can do every single day, which I've shared with my 30-day self-love challenge group. So one of the things you can do is mirror work. I know a lot of times it's hard for people to really look at themselves in the mirror, in the eyes, because they feel shame or they feel guilt. But what doesn't get revealed doesn't get healed. So if it's hard for you to look in the mirror because you feel embarrassed or you feel ashamed or any negative emotions, please do the work so you can heal those emotions that you're feeling so that you can move on with your life. So when you're looking in the mirror, you can speak things like, I am thankful that and then say what you're thankful for about yourself. Every day, I am forgiving myself for, and then you say what you're forgiving yourself for. And, it takes practice. It takes practice, but doing the mirror work is going to help you so much. My clients have told me just how mirror work has changed their lives. And at first, it was hard for them. They tried to skip doing that. But once they began to do it, saying, I forgive you, or I love you, I forgive you for doing this, and I love you for that. And I'm going to take care of you. Like just talking to yourself, to your inner child, and just speaking life, love, and forgiveness into yourself. Another thing you can do is write yourself a love letter. How many times do we wait for other people to tell us what they love and appreciate us, or how proud they are of us? Why don't you write yourself a love letter? Write yourself a love letter, like if it was coming from someone else, and just really just love on yourself. If you want to write it to your inner child, you can do that. If you want to write it to your current self, you can do that. If you want to write it to your future self about how proud you are of all the things you accomplished, that's even a bigger step that you can take, because you can write in that love letter, like, I'm so proud of you for writing 5 New York best-selling books, and I'm so proud of you for all your accomplishments for X, Y, and Z. Like, use your imagination and just really pour into yourself, into that letter, and then leave it on your nightstand, or you could even leave a sticky note if you want to do something short and sweet too. Leave a sticky note on your mirror the night before when you wake up. Good morning, gorgeous. I hope you have an amazing day. Like, I know it might sound silly at first, but I'm telling you, it works. My client, one of my clients did it recently, and she was like all giddy, and she was like, girl, it felt so good to wake up to a love note, you know, and, she felt good. She feels amazing, since she's been doing this. Another thing you can do is just put on some music and dance like nobody's watching. Like, move your body, and just dance and love on yourself and just feel the freedom and just being in that present moment and moving like you don't even care. Like, it's just you in that room and nobody else. Nobody's watching you, and not worried about what people think. Another thing you can do is unplug and reflect, which means take a day where you're not on social media. Put your phone, leave it in the room, and just spend the day loving on yourself. Like, block everybody out, unless it's an emergency. I know when you have kids, it's kind of hard, right? But if they're home, be present with them, right? But just take time to just not be, worried about what anybody else is doing, and just being present. You could read books, you can sit outside, you can take a nice bubble bath, journal, read a book, binge watch your favorite show, binge watch, your favorite movies, and just really make it about yourself. It's okay to make a day about you and not allowing other people into your space, into your mental space or your personal space for that whole day. It's okay. You can do it. You know, the world is going to keep going. If there's an emergency, you will find out about it, but just take time to disconnect. And I'm telling you, you're going to feel so amazing, even if you do it one day. If you could afford even to go stay in a hotel out of town by yourself and just spend the day where you're ordering room service and you're swimming in their pool and walking around and just being by yourself, do it. Please do it. Make the time. Along with that, if you can't go somewhere far, just go to a local park and just be by yourself and connect with nature. I did that the other day. My day was pretty open, and I was feeling really tired that day, and I think I had a headache in the morning. And I was like, you know what? I'm going for lunch, then I'm going shopping, and then I felt like eating some Rita's ice. And then I went to the park and I sat at the park and just there, just by myself. And I needed that because, as a mom, as a business owner, as a wife, like there's a lot that I have to juggle. And sometimes I don't get as much alone time as I feel like I wish I could get. But when there's an opportunity to take it, guess what? I'm running with it. And my family knows this, my friends know this. I prioritize my mental health and my well being so much because that is my responsibility. It's no one else's. No one understands and knows how I feel except for me. No one knows when I've reached my limit where I'm like, okay, I really need to rest. I really need to disconnect. Nobody knows it. And the same way it goes for you. You know your limits. If you're feeling burned out, if you're feeling like you can't do anymore, don't say yes. Say, listen, you know what? I need a mental health day, or I need some mental health hours. Like it doesn't even have to be a whole day. I know everybody has different situations. Not everybody has the time and opportunity to really get away. But if you take those moments where there is time, you will find them, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. If you look hard enough, or if you say no to someone else so you can say yes to yourself, you will find the time. So be intentional about it. And then one last thing I wanted to share that you can do to show yourself some self-love is to draw a self-portrait of yourself, color it, and then decorate it with things that you love or that make you feel beautiful. Like a lot of times we allow ourselves to be defined by what other people say about us, by what other people see in us, and we adopt that perspective of ourselves. But I want you to take the time to draw what you see, the beauty in you, not the negative, the beauty, your strengths, you know, not your weaknesses. And if it's hard for you to find, look harder because you're always going to find something positive, no matter what your circumstances have been or they are. If you look hard enough, you will find beauty. And, I don't know why when I said that, it made me think about a thunderstorm. Like it's thunder and lightning, but if you go above the clouds, there's you're going to find eventually the sun shining above all of them clouds. And sometimes even after the biggest storms, you see that a rainbow comes out. And that's the beauty, right? We see what our life truly is through nature, through creation. God always gives us signs. Like you're never always in a valley and you're never always in a hill. Like life is full of ups and downs. There's mountains, there's obstacles that we face. But as long as we don't give up, we always make it through. So find something beautiful, draw a beautiful self portrait of yourself, and, really look to dig in and showcase your beautiful assets, your strengths, you know, everything that just makes you unique, because you are unique. You are beautiful, and you were created with a beautiful and wonderful purpose. So, like I said in the beginning, I do have a 30-day self-love challenge. If you would like to join it, you can find me on Facebook as Rebecca Fillmore, or on Instagram at Inspire Her Mindset, or you can also email me at inspireherwithin@gmail.com. Please save this. If you want to listen to this again, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. And please make the time to leave me a star rating and review. I would so appreciate it. It's just going to help, my podcast to be shared even more on the podcast platforms, so that, more people can hear the positivity, the empowerment, the inspiration. I'm excited because I'm going to be interviewing a lot more women in this new coming season. They're going to be sharing more stories of empowerment, and even some men. I've had some really great men as mentors in my life that I'm going to be bringing on. I'm sure I'll bring my husband on again. Just bringing people, people that have good words to share and inspire. There's a lot of good things. I'm also going to be having workshops coming up soon. I'm going to be having a new website, so I will keep you guys up to date with that, so that you don't miss out on anything, right? So I thank you again, and I hope that this was helpful to you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great week and day. God bless.